Welcome everybody. Brooke, I think we're good to go.
Welcome, everyone. We are so happy that you've decided to join us for our first webinar in our Marketing Cloud series. And in this series, we're going to be going over different versions of the Marketing Cloud platforms. So first, what we would like to do is just give you a quick agenda, just to give you an idea of what we're going to be doing. So first, we're going to have our welcome, and then we're going to go into a discussion of differentiating the different platforms, and then compare those platforms to see what might be best for you. Then we're going to take a look at a Marketing Cloud Encore demo that is going to be presented by Eva Mandich. We're going to look at how these platforms can solve our marketing pain points, and then we're going to do a Q&A at the end of our presentation. So Eva, why don't you introduce yourself?
Thanks, Brooke. Hi everybody. So good to see some familiar faces and some new ones. My name is Eva Mandic. I'm a delivery team manager here at Arcus. I'm 9-time Salesforce certified, and I work in the intersection between the CRM and Marketing Cloud products, and I also have expertise in brand management. Oh, been in the ecosystem for 7 years already, and also based in Brooklyn, New York. Brooke, I'll pass it back to you.
Sure. So my name is Brooke Stickle, and I am the marketing manager at Arcus. I've been in the marketing field for about 25 years, and I specialize in both digital and traditional campaigns. I've been in the Salesforce ecosystem, for a little over a decade, and I use it for my lifecycle social media, ABM, and customer engagement marketing. And now that we've introduced ourselves and proven that we're not AI, let's go into our housekeeping slide. So this is just a quick idea of what's going to be going on within this presentation. So when we do a screen share or when we're switching between our presentation and the demo org, it may lag for just a moment. Don't be alarmed if the screen goes black or if it goes to something that looks like a screensaver. It's all part of the process. If you'd like to submit a question or answer a poll question when you're asked for more information, you can see the thought bubble in the upper right corner of your panel. And any questions that you type into this panel will be answered at the end during our Q&A session, and only the moderators can see your question. There are downloadable materials in the top right tab where you can see the little piece of paper with the paperclip icon. This is a document that we've put together that compares the different Marketing Cloud platforms for you. That will also be included in the follow-up email that we're going to send after the webinar. If you do want to contact Arcus, you can either send a request to us in that Q&A panel, fill out our contact us form on the arcusinc.com website, or you can email Eva or I directly. You'll find our email addresses in the chat window, which is the double thought bubble icon on the top right of your screen. So I'd like to tell you a little bit about Arcus. We're a Salesforce consulting partner. We've just celebrated our 15th anniversary within the Salesforce ecosystem. And we've grown from a team of 4 to a team of more than 80 experts. And as you can see from our stats, we have more than 2,800 projects, and we've completed those for more than 800 clients. So in those projects, if you go to your App Exchange, you'll see that we average a client satisfaction score of 4.9 stars, 4.9 stars out of 5, and that is extremely important to us. And our clients include industry leaders in the nonprofit, education, healthcare, arts and culture industries, and many more. So I am going to turn my camera off so you can focus on Eva's presentation, and I hope you enjoy it.
Thank you, Brooke, for that beautiful intro. All right, let's get started. So if you haven't heard, Salesforce added yet another Marketing Cloud product to their family of marketing clouds. And so we're going to spend the majority of today's webinar comparing those marketing clouds and also demoing this new product. And when I was thinking about how to start this presentation, first I wanted to avoid everybody looking like this meme here, and wanted to address the differences in the namings and once and for all resolve this kind of confusion about like which marketing product are we using or which marketing products are out there. So if you are somebody who is considering to migrate over from their current tool to a marketing cloud Salesforce product, then you will know going into your demos with AEs which product you're being demonstrated to. So let's get started with our old friend, Marketing Cloud Account Engagement. You'll find it on Google, some people referring to it as MCAE, MCAE for short. If you are a user, then you know in your app launcher it says Account Engagement. This also used to be called Pardot if you are for some time in the ecosystem, but that is all the same product. What is an easy way to differentiate it? Perhaps you're using the classic user interface of account engagement, formerly called as Pardot. In that case, you know this navigation bar. It's very different than Salesforce's navigation. Also, you will know this is account engagement by the look and feel of its engagement program where you build your email journeys. So you'll see it is a decision tree look like going from top to bottom, and you'll also notice that the decision splits are in green. And that is important because it does differentiate from two different products. All right, now going into Marketing Cloud engagement. This used to be Exact Target, so the company Salesforce acquired almost 10 years ago, and today it requires separate login. So you are on the Marketing Cloud engagement. If you see needing to log in through this little screen, it is separate from your Salesforce CRM login, and the email journey looks very different than the account engagement. So you'll see it is this flow-like diagram starting from left to right, from your data extension or your audiences all the way till exits. And you'll also notice the decision splits are in orange. All right, now the new product. I have a smile on my face here because I was last week at Connections and they introduced the new naming for the new product. So it is officially launched in 2024 with the Marketing Cloud Growth Edition. And then a few months later, Salesforce launched the Advanced Edition for the same product. So community called it Marketing Cloud Growth and Advanced. Then that was too lengthy, so they went with the Marketing Cloud, but it can be confused with other two products, which also have the Marketing Cloud in the name. And so a lot of the community started referring to it as Marketing Cloud on Core, because this new product is built inside or on top of Salesforce Core or Foundation. And so last week at Connections, at the keynote, Salesforce announced it as Marketing Cloud Next. So which name will stick? Let's see. But how I like to think about this new product is just like my new family member, my nephew Stefan, who is 3 years old. He is very cute. He is very ambitious, full of energy, but he will be the best, when he grows up. So just like Stefan, this new product, it's very new. It's promising a lot. And we'll dive deeper into the features later in this presentation. We'll also see the demo, but how do you differentiate if you're getting demos from Salesforce about a few of these products? You'll see that the journey builder is Flow. So if you are familiar with Salesforce, maybe you're a Salesforce admin, then this will be a very familiar interface for you. So remember, Flow is used for journey builders within the Marketing Cloud on Core. All right, to circle back on the Marketing Cloud next, uh, think of this as an umbrella term for all of the marketing tools, and Salesforce's strategy now moving forward into this new AI revolution is to rebuild all of the products that it before acquired. So we talked about Pardot Exact Target, you had Datorama for data visualization, you had Radiant Buddy Media for social. So Salesforce is now like taking all the products that it acquired that may require a separate login, it's complete different architecture build, and it is rebuilding it on top of its core platform. And so this is the slide, fresh from Connections. All right, now let's do a comparison on our marketing clouds. So this is a very high level comparison. We did put together a very in-depth feature by feature comparison with these three different clouds. Hopefully it'll help you make a decision which cloud you want to go with, or maybe you want to migrate from one to the other, which, by the way, we can help you with. But for now, let's talk about high level. Starting with Marketing Cloud Account Engagement, this tool is primarily focused on email, and it is meant for the traditional B2B. It is not truly an omnichannel, so if you do want to engage your subscribers with either email, with either SMS or social, you do need to do it inside of the third-party platforms, and then you need to do some configuration to make it all cohesive with your email communication going from account engagement as well. Compared to account engagement, we have Marketing Cloud engagement. This is a very robust platform, but it is very fragmented. You can purchase additional Studio. It does have the SMS, so there are omni-channel capabilities. The UI feels very dated. And this is something that I've always, as somebody who I think appreciates design and user interface, I've always criticized Salesforce with how like dinosaur this UI feels. Please don't tell Salesforce on me. But it is very, very, very robust platform focused on B2C marketing. And then we have our new product, Marketing Cloud on Core, with growth and advanced editions, which is built natively on Salesforce's data cloud. So compared to account engagement and Marketing Cloud engagement, which all have the connectors. So if you're administrating currently these two platforms, you know you always need to troubleshoot the sync, make sure that everything is passing through appropriately. With Marketing Cloud on Core, it is built directly on Data Cloud, so there is no more connector troubleshooting, which is great news. Another pro of this tool, it being built on the core platform, it does have that unified user interface, very consistent look and feel across your Salesforce. We're also going to see it in demo later today. And also it has a fully integrated omni-channel marketing. So you can orchestrate your email communication with also SMS, with WhatsApp, and it is going to be very, very robust platform. So comparing key highlights between these features, you have account engagement, which is great for email nurture. If you're a B2B brand, great for your lead routing to different sales reps. Very simple platform to adopt and implement. Then you have your Marketing Cloud engagement, which is going to give you right now most robust capabilities. It does require more technical expertise. And then you have your Marketing Cloud on Core, with being ideal for medium and small size businesses, because it is in this infancy state, and then it's going to get just more and more robust. Also, if you're in the ecosystem, Salesforce innovates or pushes releases 3 times a year. But for this Marketing Cloud on Core, it's been every 2 weeks. So we at the community and a lot of consultants is doing a lot to keep up with all of the changes and all of the new features that it's rolling out on a very frequent basis. Another key difference between Marketing Cloud on Core and account engagement and engagement is that with the product pricing, you also pay for usage limits. So here is the slide we got from Salesforce on the current pricing. This is a subject to change. So I would say contact your Salesforce for any changes, any discounts. But as you can see, these are all of the credits that come with the 2 editions. And then separately, you would pay for the product, which is actually cheaper than compared to account engagement and engagement. All right, now on to our first poll question. Please let us know which Salesforce marketing solution are you currently using. I'll give you a few minutes. All right, I see some answer coming in. A lot of Marketing Cloud account engagement users. We have also Marketing Cloud engagement users. Nobody's on growth. Makes sense. It is very new. All right, thank you for voting. Now moving forward. Okay, it's my favorite part, demo. So let's get into it. Heads up, I will be performing this demo in our simple demo org. So if something, there are several limitations that we can do in the demo org, but at least we're going to see how this platform looks and feels and some like cool features it provides. All right, so currently I'm in Data Cloud, so I'm going to jump over to our Marketing Cloud on Core. And you can see I'm logged into Salesforce. With a simple click, I've made it to my marketing app. You'll also notice that, as I mentioned, it is built on Core, so the user interface already looks and feels familiar. First, you will land on the home page, and for marketers, you spend most of your time in campaigns. That did get a little bit of a facelift. I'll show you in a bit. You're also going to be spending your time in content, building all of your various marketing assets. And it is very simple. You can just go add, and then here are all of the different assets that you can build. And then also you have the analytics tab where you can track your KPIs, as well as consent tab. Consent in the Marketing Cloud on Core is a little bit more rigid, and that is all to help you keep up with all of the data and privacy updates that are being rolled out. And then also going back to our home tab, you'll see very, very simple. So a few components where you can easily get to the campaigns page. You can also create several brands, so you can load your brand standards right directly in Marketing Cloud on Core. And I know this is something that, for example, for account engagement users on this call, you're not able to do. So your team constantly needs to go between the screens and like copy paste all the hex colors to make sure that your emails are on brand. And then you can also directly go into your analytics to measure success. Again, this is the demo org, so I don't have any recently active campaign flows. Flows, remember, this is our email journey per Marketing Cloud on Core terminology. You also have your marketing calendar, so you and your team can collaborate. You can add any different events, any that you want to like launch your emails. You can have different calendars shared with different people. You can have your recent activity, just very, very familiar when it comes to all of the different Salesforce features and links. All right, now, oh, one other thing where you'll spend a lot of time is in the segment builder. So these are all of your, if you're account engagement user, lists, or if you're engagement user, your data extensions. And we'll see in this demo briefly how to create a segment. But now I want to show you something very cool. So Marketing Cloud on Core is sprinkled over with a lot of, or almost every feature has the AI capability. So let's go ahead and start drafting a campaign using our agent. So I launched an agent quickly from the homepage by saying draft by AI. You can also launch it in the upper right corner. Now it prompts me to start with a campaign objective. So I'm going to type in or copy paste because live demos, you can't really type on them. So I'm going to start with my campaign objective. I used a very broad use case of onboarding new customers and educating them about our brand. And I'm going to submit this answer to my agent. Now, agent is doing some research, reviewing our data in Salesforce, our brand, and then it came up with this brief in a matter of seconds. So gave this brief a name, a description. It also specified who my target segment should be. It also drafted a key message for this email. Now, for the sake of our time, I'm going to click confirm. You can always go back and forth and iterate on these briefs that the agent spits out. And now it asks me, do you want to go ahead and create a marketing brief? I say yes, let's use this brief to create our new campaign. So you'll notice no more clicking new, filling the fields. It's all using natural language. It's all kind of like moving up with this AI revolution where you can easily chat to ChatGPT and it does the work for you. All right, so now it gave me the campaign preview before it creates a record for me. So thought of a good campaign name, discover our value. It gave me email subject line suggestion, pre-header. It also drafted a paragraph. Now I'm going to say, okay, personalize this email, subject line and body. And let's see how it responds to this iteration. All right, so in a matter of seconds, it personalized it. It gave me a draft, and this is amazing. If you're like me and you're struggling with starting things, then I mean, this cuts off half of my time trying to write an email. So this is really, really helpful and is boosting my productivity. So let's see, now the agent is doing its magic in the backend. It's creating the campaign record for me from this preview. And here it is. It gives me a link as a quick reference that I'm going to open. All right. Now you'll notice I'm in campaign tab, and this is my campaign record page. You'll see, as I mentioned earlier, it is a new interface, but it is very intuitive. It feels familiar. You can schedule this campaign to go on a specific date and time within the specific time zone if you'd like. You always start with the segment, so we'll get to that in a little bit. Now here is my email message that the agent drafted for me initially. You can see the subject line, pre-header, whether it's a promotional or a transactional email. My send time optimization is disabled. Actually, my demo org doesn't allow me activate half of the Einstein features because they use credits. But you can basically enable send time optimization to engage your subscribers at the time they're likely to engage. So this is a little bit of that AI help you get with this tool. And then you can also add this as an SMS, or you can create it and add it as part of the journey, which also we'll see in a little bit. let's go ahead and create a segment. So you'll see I'm not leaving the campaign record. With one click, I can go ahead and start drafting my segment. There is a few options. So you can use quick filters, which is typical like criteria for your audience. You can send to the campaign members that are part of this campaign. And you can also build a new segment from scratch or select an existing segment. So I'm going to show you what is it like to build a segment from scratch. You have several options here as well. Very simple. Use a visual builder. This is just like in the account engagement, you have your if then statements, your rules for building, let's say, a dynamic list. But what I found really, really helpful with the Marketing Cloud on Core, which you don't get with other two tools, is building segment using Einstein segment creation. Keep in mind that Marketing Cloud on Core, it's built on top of the Data Cloud. So you can segment only on unified individuals. And we're likely going to have more webinars just pertaining to Data Cloud because it is very broad topic for me to cover in this amount of time today. So I'm going to click next. And what I find really cool is you can use a natural language to build this segment. I think this is the demo org bug right now, but before when I was preparing for this demo, it literally knew or it copy pasted the target segment from previously when I spoke to agent and it prompted it here, but right now I'm not seeing that. The beauty of live demo, guys, it's never works out perfectly as you thought it would. So let me try that again. Maybe it's me talking and not moving quick enough that it got it sidetrack. Next. Nothing. All right, let me show you for the existing segment. So this is the one that I created using natural language. So it is our new brand explorers. And it's very simple. I will click select the segment and it is selecting it. Let me show you. But let's go back. So if you see the agent saved my chat history here, so I can go ahead and copy this target segment. And then I'm going to edit this here. Let's go in. I'm going to paste my target segment that the agent previously recommended. The agent is currently analyzing the requests. It's reviewing your data. And here it is suggesting the attributes. So it knows, oh, this is for onboarding new consumers. So likely you're tracking your new consumers as leads. If you're trying this in your org, you may see different suggestions because it depends on your data model and how you're using Data Cloud. And so you can easily refine the segment or click create this segment, and it's going to do this in a matter of 2 clicks. It gave this segment a name, description, and once you run these rules, you're going to see, or here you're going to see, it's starting to get the segment population or the number of people that are part of this segment. All right, going back to our campaign. Let's say I don't want this to be a list email, but I want it to be a part of the journey. In this case, I'm going to say open flow. So again, we are on the campaign record. With one click, we're gonna draft the email journey. If you're familiar with the Flow Builder, you know how robust it is. If you are new to Flow Builder, Salesforce did a great job over the years to really make it simple and intuitive. For our timing purposes, I'm going to just show you a couple of elements and not dive deep. Maybe I'll do a separate webinar on just building journeys. Basically, you'll see you have an SMS component, very simple to add. You can trigger a different subflow. So if you want your segment to go from this email engagement journey into different subflow to maybe like convert them or to tag your sales team, you can like easily do that. You can do some transformation of records with different flows. You also get this pet experiment component, and this is available only in the advanced edition. This is your A/B testing, but it is much more than just A/B testing you're used to in account engagement or engagement. You can add multiple variants of this test. You can also not only test the subject line, the personalization, you can also test your channel. So you can see if, people who are engaging SMS or email. And then what else? You can do different decision splits. You can also do the wait periods. So in here, you can wait for, wait one date. You can wait until date, wait for a specific amount of time. You can wait for minutes. And then you can take different actions. You can see like how many actions is a part of this flow, and you can go really robust with your strategy, and you can know that the product can support it. All right. One last thing I will add, and we have 10 more minutes, so I need to speed it up a little bit. You also, so with other two products, I know the approval process was always happening outside of your tool. Now with Marketing Cloud on Core, it has a built-in approval process. So if I go in here, and this is our email we created earlier, here is the workflow. You can define at the back end, and you can like with a click of a button start it, and then it goes through whoever it needs to ping to approve it. You can see your different versions in here, your details, and when it's published. I'm very excited about this product. It is pretty neat, and it is really easy and intuitive to use. Now let's move forward with our slides. View slideshow. All right, our next poll question. Do you need to integrate your other marketing channels, such as SMS, social, website, any offline channels? Do you need to bring all of those into your Salesforce? I see 100% says yes, which I'm not surprised about. Give a couple more seconds. All right. I think we're good to end this poll. Great. Okay, so what is the entire promise of Marketing Cloud on Core? We all know the problem. We all know that marketer today does a lot. As marketer, you need to ideate campaign, you need to design the content, you need to approve it, you need to understand the key trends, keep up with customer demand. What are their psychographics? What is their behavior? What is the latest on the algorithm? You need to constantly review the metrics, constantly iterate on your strategy, see what works best or not. And on top of that, if you have the disconnected data, you need to do that in several platforms, you need to manage different channels. I always say to my friends who are in marketing roles for specific organizations, I'm like, I don't know how you do it, but head down. So all of that to say that Salesforce really took all of those pain points, and with them in mind, it built this new platform. First, it started with a very strong foundation, building it on top of Data Cloud, which is going to unify all of your customer details from various platforms. So you don't need to go and do the migration from this platform as you would in your Salesforce CRM to have that data for the account engagement or engagement. Salesforce Data Cloud, you'll hear this refers this to zero copy. So you don't need migration. You just need to connect your data sources, and then with Data Cloud, it is going to unify all of those profiles from the different data sources that then you can use to market with Marketing Cloud on Core. Then we all know that the omni-channel strategy for marketing is very important. And so Marketing Cloud on Core is built with this in mind as well. So you have your SMS, your WhatsApp, if you want to engage your community, great channel for that. And of course, you have your email. So really good having this strong data foundation with Data Cloud, and now being able to orchestrate easily with the flow all of your messaging. And of course, it is built with the future of marketing in mind. So you, as we saw, like you have that agent, you can easily go in and use your natural language to help you draft a campaign, to help you with the ideas, with brainstorming, which I think is great. So what we saw in the demo, I mean, I've really brushed upon it, but there's so much more you can do with this platform. We've created segments in natural language processing. We've easily drafted campaign brief in minutes. Then you can approve that brief immediately in platform. Then you can also add the email, SMS, different channels, and test where is the your customer most likely to engage with that pet experiment. And then something that we didn't have time in this webinar to show, there is also different Einstein features. Like for example, you have Einstein engagement frequency score, where Einstein helps you group these folks in a, let's say, saturated, unsaturated groups, or just on target that they're getting communication. So you don't have to anymore maintain and create such a robust solution in Marketing Cloud engagement just to manage the situation. And also amazing because you don't have to, your audience is going to be very grateful. You can finally monitor and like not bombard them with all of that email communication. So a lot of it to uncover, but I also want to make sure we get to Q&A. So I'll do another quick poll here. What is your biggest marketing challenge today? Is it data integration? Is it limited team resources? Omni-channel communication, audience segmentation? Maybe all of the above. Okay. I see a lot of folks says limited team resources, data integration. Okay. All right, lastly, before Q&A, I had to put this in here. This is slides fresh from Connections, or Salesforce's Marketer Conference. If you are either a marketer or a CMO or CEO in your organization, you're wondering where the marketing is going. Well, Salesforce is betting on their agentic marketing. And what they pitched at Connections in their keynote is this two-way conversation. So they're saying like throw away your do not reply email address. Now the consumer will be demanding and get used to just kind of like interacting with you in a conversational manner. So that is also part of, I forgot to mention it during the demo, but part of the advanced edition, you can set up the conversational SMS as well. I went to the competition area of Connections, where people came up with a different use case for agentic marketing. One I thought was really interesting is they built a solution where you send an email, a consumer within that one email can address the agent saying, oh, I changed my email address, or, oh, I want to like update my purchase from red t-shirt to black t-shirt. And then in that one email, it renders that updated information. So there is no more like going back through this entire workflow, sending another email, you tracking the system where it is, what is it at. It's basically doing it in that same email. And if you want to look at the entire keynote, I will post it in our chat. Thought it was really cool. All right, so let's dive into our Q&A. That is what I had for you today from content perspective.
Great, thanks, Eva. That was amazing. What was great to see is how many people were really paying attention during that entire demo. It seems people were really interested in it. So again, you'll see that Eva has shared a YouTube video in the chat channel, and we also have our email addresses in there. And we're asking that if you do have any questions, just check out the thought bubble with the little question mark on the upper right-hand corner of your screen and go ahead and put your questions in. Now, we are coming right up to the end, but we do have a few questions in here, so we might run a little bit over. You are certainly welcome to stay. And if you cannot stay, again, we will be sending out an email with all of these, with this entire presentation, plus the document we've got attached to the presentation as well. So let's go ahead and start with this question. Is there any indication that Salesforce is going to be offering a nonprofit discount on core?
I believe so. They offer a discount with all of their different products for nonprofits. So I would say contact your Salesforce AE to make sure.
The next question is, do I need a developer to use Marketing Cloud?
Marketing, I would be interested to hear, is it marketing cloud engagement, account engagement on core? Uh, Broadly speaking, no. All of the tools in Salesforce is really going with this like point and click uh, version of all marketing clouds. I would say if you're on the marketing cloud engagement, it depends on your technical skills. If you are familiar with coding, the mscript, the SQL, you may or may not need a developer.
So let's narrow it down. If they are planning on using Marketing Cloud next.
Oh, for Encore, no, you won't need a developer. I think the most technical aspect of it is the flow. And you saw it's also point and click. I mean, it is very, uh, it does require some learning curve, but it's not like, oh, I need to code stuff. And then also another part of it is doing the profile unification with Data Cloud. That also require a little bit of a learning curve because it is this different concept than your standard CRM. But if you have your internal system admin, then they should be able to help you with this portion, or just come to us. We've done some implementations.
Now this is a good one, and this is something that I hear tossed around often in the Salesforce world. Is Marketing Cloud account engagement and or engagement going to be retired in the foreseeable future?
Yeah, this is really a frequent one. I heard this a lot being asked in connections as well. And the answer is no. So engagement and account engagement are not being retired. Um, Now, they also have the already predefined roadmaps that so they are going to be more and more developed. But I would say Salesforce is really like putting a lot more time into making the marketing cloud on core more robust. So it's not being retired right now, but they will probably want you eventually to migrate to the new product.
Great. Okay, so this is a two-part question. Do we need Data Cloud to take advantage of Marketing Cloud on core?
Yes. Now, if you purchase the Marketing Cloud on Core, it does come with your Data Cloud credits. So you don't need to like purchase the entire more Data Cloud. I mean, it depends on your record volume, the usage. So working with the AE, they will help you uh, understand kind of like how much usage you want to get, but you will need the Data Cloud. It's basically the product is built on top of it. And for segmentation, for example, you work with this concept of the individual, unified individual, which is part of the data cloud.
And I'd also like to throw in too that we have recently, with the introduction of these products, we have brought in an expert in data strategy to kind of help organizations figure out what data they need specifically. And you'll notice I switch back and forth between data and data. I can't help it. What you need specifically and how to streamline that sharing between the systems to keep that number of conversations down, to keep the price within what you can afford. So it seems overwhelming, but we do have help with that if you do need it. Throwing this the second part of this question, this is for our nonprofit attendees. Do we need nonprofit cloud, or does marketing cloud on core work with NPSP?
It does work with MPSP. No need for nonprofit cloud. Again, you will need to ingest that data into data cloud to create unified individuals where you're going to build those segments from. But you can do that on top of any Salesforce cloud.
Great. I'm going to ask anyone, if you do have any final questions, go ahead and pop them into our Q&A panel. And we've got another one here. How secure is customer data within Marketing Cloud?
Good question. It is, I would say Salesforce has this, I mean, Marketing Cloud, part of Salesforce, right? That's why I'm addressing it as Salesforce. It does have the multi-layer approach to security. So it does secure its data centers, the network security. Then you have the security of its applications as well. It encrypts the data. So I will say, and also, I mean, we all know Salesforce's first core value is trust. So they really like put in a lot of effort to make their platforms secure. However, I will say that your organization also needs to do some work to ensure that you have a set of practices and security policies in place. That you're making sure your users are using multi-factor authentication and so on to have that holistic security layer.
Fantastic. Okay, so it looks like that's all the time we have for questions. If you have submitted a question we didn't answer, I don't see any we didn't answer, but in case you come up with a new one in the future, we can reach out to you after the event to discuss it with you. Again, our email addresses are pinned in the chat if you would like to reach out to us. So thanks everyone for attending. After the webinar, you will be presented with a survey for feedback for this webinar. Your feedback's a gift. It allows us to hone our messaging and make sure that you're getting the information from us that you find most useful in the way that you find most useful. Plus, in line with our green initiatives, for every survey completed, we're going to plant 5 trees in your name to show our appreciation for your time. So we'll be sending out follow-up email shortly within the next few days that will have a link to the recording and also the product comparison document. You can also visit our website, and we have tons of blog content about Salesforce and Marketing Cloud and our own experiences working within these platforms. And if you're interested in discussing Marketing Cloud further, or if there's anything else that you'd like to talk with us about having to do with Salesforce, we're always happy to jump on a call to discuss it with you and help you think through the next step in your process. So we appreciate you spending this time with us. Eva, thank you for a fantastic presentation, and we hope to speak with you soon, and we'll send out an invitation for the next webinar in our Marketing Cloud series. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.